The following is a presentation of Project Independence and WCWP. Project Independence is the Aging in Place initiative of the town of North Hempstead. We provide programs and services designed to assist and support the older town residents who wish to remain in their homes as they age. If we don't currently provide a service, we will try and connect you to that service. Call 311 or 869-6311 to get more information or receive services.
Welcome to Project Independence and You.
Welcome to Project Independence and You. We have a great show today. We have Barbara Feldman, who is our go-to guru on all things decluttering, spring cleaning. It's my favorite time of the year. And, my birthday's in 2 days, so I figured we had to have Barbara on because I love her tips and tricks. So welcome, Barbara, and welcome Beck and Otto.
Thank you so much. My birthday's coming up too in a couple of weeks. We need to celebrate. It's spring, which is like for all of us, like a rebirth. And so thank you.
Barbara, let's just dive into, I know you have some kind of fun stuff for us.
Oh yeah. In
the second segment and the first segment, I think we're in a place, everyone's coming out of COVID and, just sitting in their houses and just sick. I mean, that was me. I'm basically describing myself because I spent so much time in and all I did was look around the house and think about things I wanted to change and things I wanted to get rid of and everything. So tell us how everything's been and some
I will. And, on that, well, first of all, everyone, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time. And I think I hear my dog coming, which is going to be... This is a live show, right? It's a live show. I am a humble member of, it's called the National Association of Senior Move Managers, as well as the National Association of Professional Organizers. And what we try to do is to get you more room in your own home with the things that you have. And I'm going to tell you one thing today. And just if you remember nothing else, remember this. We use 20% of what we have. You use your kitchen, you use your bedroom, you use your bathroom, and maybe another room in the house, a den or an office, and the rest of those we're not using. Also apply that to your clothing. COVID, we wear less than 20% of what we have, right? But when people get all bent out of shape about how am I going to downsize, if you look at that, you've already downsized. You're really only using 20%. You just got to get rid of all the rest of that stuff. So let's talk about spring cleaning. And we just spoke a little bit about how the spring is so wonderful. It's like a rebirth. All the flowers are coming out in New York. It just makes you like hopeful. It's new. So tips for spring cleaning. I would like you to start off going like room to room, but have a plan. Okay, so like a plan, like you're going to spend 15 minutes doing this, 30 minutes doing this. You also need to have with that plan, what you're going to be doing, a schedule, the 15 minutes, the 30 minutes. And then I'm going to tell you later more about you. But we want to, who's going to be involved in this cleaning? Is it just you, or are you going to have, you're going to be able to find others that, like Otto, would your wife help? Kristina, would your husband help? Anybody have children? And if all of this gets to be too much, I encourage you to hire a professional, really. So you need to know the areas, the schedule, who's doing it, supplies, have your supplies on hand. There's a gazillion, all kinds of different supplies. And, vinegar is just a really great cleaning agent. And sometimes you could use that white vinegar for almost anything. It's
Oh, wait,
really,
so not red wine vinegar, right?
no, not no, not to clean your floors or
just
the white
checking.
vinegar. No, but regular white vinegar is really good.
Barbara, is that something you have to like dilute when you use it, or you could just use straight white vinegar?
You would dilute it, and I'll give you an actual, this has nothing to do with cleaning. This is happens to be a tip that I learned. I'm like really allergic to mosquitoes. I don't know about anybody else, but bites, and I learned that if you put white vinegar in a spray bottle, don't even dilute it, and then you spray your body when you're outside with all the mosquitoes, they run away.
Ooh, that's a great tip. I'm gonna save that one.
Yeah.
It's really, now you do smell like a salad for the first 5 minutes, but
the minor
it
price to pay.
dissipates, it goes away. Yeah, but it's really worth it. I suffer with bites, and I'm sure a lot of other people have problems with it. So yeah,
I like that
vinegar
little
is
fun fact.
wonderful.
Some of us must have built-in white vinegar because they don't bother me, but they bother my wife.
So you send them to her.
I do, I talk to them and, what.
So I want to also encourage everybody to have in your house, in your bedroom, and wherever, have a donations bag or box all the time. I personally purge every morning when I get up. And every night. Well, particularly if I'm working in somebody's house and they have a lot of stuff, I come home and like throw everything out because I'm just like, oh my God, why do you have all of this?
Right. Barbara,
So,
how do you determine what you can get rid of every day? Like I've heard, like I look in my closet and I can tell you I could probably get rid of 90% of what's in there of what I actually wear regularly. But
right.
I heard like if you haven't worn it in a year, you should get rid of it.
Yes, that's very true. And a really easy way to do that is you take all those, like those 10 pairs of black pants, and you put them together on your bed. Okay. And then you sort down those 10 pairs, like this one, the hem has to be repaired and you're never going to do it. This one needs a button and I don't like the way this fits. This reminds me of something. So if you put like with like of anything, then you could sort down and, make sure that, that it's going to have meaning to you, that it's really important to you. If it's really not important to you, there's so many people that can use it. I mean, we all know how many people are out there. And I know everybody's taking clothing, really, everybody's taking clothing to ship. And, there's so many needy people all over the world.
What about shoes in that category? Like
shoes
we just recently in my house went through a shoe adventure.
Yeah.
And, somebody in my house had 35 pairs of shoes. And,
no kidding.
Yeah. So the question is, do people want old shoes, or do you just throw them in the garbage?
No, donate them.
Donate them. Okay.
Donate them. Yeah, please.
Right.
Please. There's lots of people that need them. So I'm going to get into the downsizing, but right now I want to talk a little bit about personalities for cleaning. Okay. Like, moving is one thing that when I say moving, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. But cleaning, people aren't as bad about that, right? Is that agreed? Like people don't, you clean it, you don't, moving is more like a deadline, right? So cleaning could be more like a personality. So like, for instance, what's your cleaning personality? Are you an angry cleaner when you finally have to clean something? Oh my God. So grab something and go for the grout, go for something tough, really like right. So if you're an angry cleaner, if you're a procrastinator, which there's a lot of people that are, try to do it like first thing in the morning. Another person that might be an early riser type of personality. If you do that in the morning when you're making your coffee, pull out a drawer. While you're having your coffee, pull out a drawer, start on that drawer. Tupperware is always a favorite place of mine. You can always, every morning, cut down on the Tupperware. That's another personality might be your social cleaner. You might want to be on the phone or be doing a podcast, or I listen to a lot of books. Is everybody familiar with Libby from the library, that you can listen, you can, instead of buying books and collecting books, you can listen to them on an app? Is everybody familiar with that? Libby?
Yeah,
Libby, no, I mean, I
How do you
have
spell
Audible
that?
books.
Living, the word?
It's called Libby, Libby, and it's through your library. It's an app on your phone. You look for Libby, and you put your library card in, and then just like you take from the library, you take from the lot, you get it on your iPad or on your phone, and you read it for 2 weeks, and then you renew it again. You know, the same as you borrow from the library. It's great. And I do a lot of audiobooks as well, because, you know, there's so much time that, you know, you're driving, you're doing laundry, you know, so much time that's just wasted that you're not even thinking about. And some people listen to podcasts and people listen to books. This is another way. So if you're a social cleaner, you know, you could do that at the same time as you're cleaning, and you don't even know that you're cleaning. And all of a sudden you've accomplished that.
And it also helps with a lot of book buildup. I mean, I know I have a house that has 2 libraries in it. And, you know, I recently donated a whole bunch of books, and I now am, you know, doing the Audible books on when I drive to work, that kind of thing. So it kind of helps with clutter. Not that books are clutter, but, you know, do you need all the books you have, you know, stored in piles and shelves and that kind of a thing?
Right. And are you going to read them again?
Right. Exactly.
Or can you pass them to somebody who will?
Yes.
You know, that's the other part of it. And I have a great a book donation guy too in Garden City. And I think it was Otto's wife who gave me for kids books, Book Fairies, and Causeway Books in Garden City. Joe, he will also take books. His name was given to me by the Roslyn Library because I used to donate there all the time, and it just got to be too much. They couldn't take anymore.
You know, I've talked about on the show before, there was recently I was going through, I had a lot of DVDs and books, and I was like, where do I do with this? So there was this organization, and it was so smooth and easy to process. It was called sellbackyourbooks.com. And you literally, you know, you on your phone or whatever, you scan the barcode of the book or the DVD, and it will tell you if they're interested in buying it back. And listen, they're nominal fee, you know, like it was like 10 cents or something. But I had a lot of things. So you put it all just in a box you have around the house. They give you the label, and then they send you a check, or, you know, you can do a PayPal thing. And it was so speedy, the process, and they kept up to date when they got my box back. And, you know, I got like $20, and I was like, you know, this was great. It was
is terrific. Thank you,
it was
Kristina.
so easy, and I've been telling everyone about it because it was really just, you know, a very simple, streamlined process.
Thank you. Because I have somebody in the city that buys books, but you know, on 45th Street, but you have to pack them up. You got to bring them to, you know,
This is great. It was just so easy. Yeah, it was wonderful.
That is wonderful. Okay, great. Okay, so you know, you also might be a TV watcher. You know, that could be another cleaning personality. So you put on a show, you have a half an hour show, and you get through a closet, or you get through a couple of drawers. And, you know, but again, if you go back to that, you set yourself a goal and a schedule and what you're going to do, then you kind of like, you know, make a plan, attack it. You know, that's what organizing down to everything. It's all about a plan.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing a spring cleaning and you get rid of a lot of stuff, it's a lot easier going forward to stay on task. I'm like a fog cleaner. That's because on the weekend, because I work, and is when I do all my cleaning, and I'll start in the morning, and all of a sudden my house is clean. I have enough. I mean, I know I did it because I'm the only one home. but it's like, you just get through every room and it's like, wow, like 4 hours have gone by. I've done 6 miles on my path up and down the steps. So,
And so what would you call your personality, your cleaning personality then? Would you call it
I want to add one. I want to call it a fog cleaner. Someone who
fog
lives
cleaner?
in a fog, and you're all of a sudden it's done, and you've done it. You just, it's like driving to work. Sometimes I pull into work, and
you're like, how'd I get here?
Don't remember the trip. I know I didn't speed, but yet I'm here safely. It becomes just, I don't know. You think about things. I'm a combination, I guess, Barbara, because like maybe I've talked on the phone with a friend while I'm doing it, and maybe I'm like cooking dinner and I'll get that set up, and then I'll do the laundry, and then I go outside if I'm going to hang something, so it's like I'm a combo person, I guess you would say.
Okay. So we have mixed personalities and cleaning personalities.
I'm definitely social. I like the podcast and TV. I'm definitely the podcast TV watcher.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy getting rid of stuff. And I think there are personalities that enjoy not getting rid of stuff. Like you go to people, I know people that have bills that are 30 years old, 40 years old. They still have them. It's I did one recently, medicine cabinets and under the sinks in about 3 different places in our house. I took everything out of all of those, put them on the dining room table, found out we had 6 boxes of Band-Aids and, 12 boxes of this and that and whatever, and dumped about 80% of it, like you described the 20/80 thing. You just have a lot, like the Band-Aids were so dried out in a lot of cases, you couldn't use them anyhow. So, that kind of thing. So I don't know what kind of personality that is, but
a personality I like when people
like, all right, we have to take a quick break, and we will return with our guest Barbara Feldman, and we're talking about cleaning up and planning the house. And you're listening to Project Independence in You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We will be right back.
Take WCWP with you wherever you go with the WCWP app. Listen live 24/7 to all of our streams, all from one app. Plus, call the studios directly from the app and visit our social media. Download the app through the iOS App Store on Apple devices or the Google Play Store on Android by searching WCWP Radio, or visit WCWP.org for links. The WCWP app, available now on iOS and Android devices.
Welcome back to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We have our 3-host extravaganza today. I'm Rebecca Miller, along with Otto Lohse and Kristina Liu, who's also the radio show producer. I had a little technical difficulty, but as long as I don't move an inch, I think I'll be okay. And we've been talking with Barbara Feldman, and Barbara giving us great information on how to declutter, move, plan. I have a question. I'm a little selfishly. I recently have become an empty nester. I also have an attic filled with my son's schoolwork and projects and awards. And, I went through a lot of it, and I kept things like, I got rid of all their tests that I kept and all the smiley faces, and I kept like their notebooks and all of their artwork. I could not get rid of anything, but I still have so much. Like, can you free me? Like, can I get rid of notebooks? Do I, what do you do with all the stuff that you cherish? And yes, it is in my attic, so maybe I don't cherish it that much, but I don't display it, but it's so, it's so meaningful and brings me back joy to see it when I do, see it.
Would you want to make a scrapbook out of it, or like take pictures and take pictures and some of the favorite stuff? I honestly, my son now lives in Colorado, but I got rid of, I think I still have the board from his bar mitzvah, and he's coming next weekend, and I'm going to get rid of that too. He's 30.
Give it to him, or what do you?
He's 33. It's I mean,
I know.
Years ago. So no, I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm going to offer it to him. I have soccer stuff from him too, and no, I put it all together, and this is what I would suggest: pick out what you want special, and if you want to make a scrapbook out of it or something, or Shutterfly. I don't know if you know how to do that.
Yeah, you Shutterfly all the time.
Yeah,
Kristina.
and something something special, and then have your son come over or have your children come over and say, what do they want? And they generally don't want anything. They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They don't want me to get rid of it either. They'll guilt me, like, you're going to throw that out?
Yeah, unless you want it.
Yeah.
Right. Because otherwise, you get, I hate to say this, but they get faced with, like later on, what are we going to do with it when you're not so young and you don't have the energy to go through this stuff? Then what are you going to do? And this is what I face every day. I face older people that are downsizing. They have big homes and they're going to an apartment or something. They're downsizing. They have all this stuff. The kids don't want anything. They're not physically able to do it anymore or want to. And so you're much better off doing it now when you're young and able to do it, and your kids are still there. So make a date and have an afternoon with your son.
Yeah. Well, both of them are, they're not in their permanent homes. They're in apartments. One's in the city. One is still up at school, way up there, but he's older. So, it's just, so they're not really in a place where I would say, okay, my one son has an apartment in Brooklyn. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to give him his stuff, and doesn't have a place to keep it. See, I'm making excuses. I'm getting rid of it. Kristina,
okay, so could you get it down to a bin, one big bin of stuff? Just get it to one bin.
Maybe one per kid. I might
one per kid.
Yeah, like a big bin, not a little.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. You can do it.
I could do that.
You can do it.
I could do that.
You could call me.
Okay.
I'll coach you through it.
I will.
I think some of it evolves over time. When they get older, they may think differently of it than now, but when they're older, they may look at this thing as, hey, this is really great. I'd love to have this.
Right.
So I don't know if there's certain things just take time, but you don't have time if you're downsizing.
Right. So let's get into, we're going to play a game. Okay. I don't know if it's going to go the 20-minute segment and we might have to come back or what, but I want everybody to take out a piece of paper and a pencil.
Everyone listening too, right?
Yep.
Everybody listening. Yeah, because everybody listening, you're all eligible to win a prize. There's going to be a prize for the most amount of points, and there's going to be a prize for the least amount of points. And you got to be honest. Don't cheat. And at the end of this, Kristina will take everybody's scores, and then she will coordinate with me, and we will give out prizes.
That's right. Just call 311 or 516-869-6311.
Okay.
Yes, from me.
Great. Okay, so this is these first questions. You get 1 point on this. Okay, it's a yes or a no. Do you have junk mail and charity requests in your house that are unopened? If it's a yes, you get 1 point. If it's a no, you get no points. Okay, everybody understand? Okay, first question. Okay, how about second question? Outdated owner's manuals or health insurance manuals? 1 point. How about sheets that don't fit any bed in your house that you're saving?
I just got rid of those.
Oh, good, good. And and everybody knows that sheets, towels, any of the animal shelters take sheets and towels. They
Oh,
all
that's a
need,
great tip.
they
Animal
all need
shelters?
bedding for any cat or dog that comes in needs a new bed. So, and I have been able to, in Port Washington Animal Shelter, I just put it in a big black bag and drop it outside.
Oh,
And
that's a
take it.
great tip. I had no idea about that. That's wonderful.
Okay, they all need. Is anybody saving? So that's 1 point on that. Phone books or yellow pages? Are there yellow pages?
I feel like one got sent to my house last year. And I was shocked to see one.
So
If you keep pages, keep them long enough, they all get yellow.
Good, Otto. Well, I actually Googled yellow pages the other day to see if there was truly yellow pages. And I really think it's just online. I don't know. Do they deliver? Does the town have those little books anymore?
I want to say like 2 years ago, I saw a hard copy or so. Like pre-COVID, I definitely saw a hard copy. I haven't seen one in recent times, but
yeah. I haven't either.
yeah.
All right. Well, if you have any, you get a point. How about seasonal?
What question was that? Was that 5, number 5?
That was
4.
4. Okay.
4. Yeah.
All right.
How about seasonal decorations? Lots of people keep a lot of those, as well as
Is there bonus points for this question?
Still 1. And with that goes with greeting cards, like when you get all cards, for holidays and you save those and then you put them with the seasonal decorations. And the next year when you pull them out, you still have all those cards.
Barbara,
Yes.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So, all the postcards you get for the holidays, all your friends, and Kristina sends them out. They're lovely. And like friends from college and their grandkids or their new kid, whatever. And they're real pictures. What's the rule? Because I can't keep them all. Like the thank you cards that people send now with a picture, they're a postcard and they're pictures of this beautiful couple. So what do you do? Because it's not really
scan it and keep it, scan it and save it to the cloud. So I learned a really important lesson in my life. I lived in California and I'm a New Yorker, and I was in San Diego for wildfires. We hear about them, but to experience them as a New Yorker is really quite unnerving because we live in a wet climate and the firemen come and they put out the fires here. In general, they don't just go on for days and days, right? Well, that's not what happens in California. And when the firemen came to my door, knocked on the door and said, "You must leave now," what do you take? What do you take? You run with your life. And at that, at that time, I, took my photo. I took pictures with me and my kids, but I took pictures with me. Now I back everything up, and I encourage you to scan it and back it up. And all of those.
Frankly, I'm like what you said. I use first of all, I have a little hard drive, and I would take my computer and a small safe that we have, and I think that'd be about all I'd worry about.
That's it, right?
And I have Google Photos pretty well organized with all the photos and the hard drive and the computer, and the safe would be with all your papers that you need to reconstruct your life.
Yep.
But beyond that, if you don't have all that information, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and there's I don't know if you're familiar with, there's companies that do all that. They help you put all that information together, and they back it up online if you're ever going to need all that medical information, all about your house, or, all those things. There are companies that do that if you're interested in those kind of things too. But yeah, does that answer your question though?
Yes. Yeah. Gives me some more options.
Yeah. Okay, so what we did? Seasonal decorations. Okay, this is a good one. Gowns, tuxedos, dress clothes that don't fit and you're never going to wear again. And now COVID's really changed our lives for on so many levels. And that's another one. How often are we getting dressed, and how dressed are we getting? And then also those gowns and tuxedos, there's so many places we can repurpose them. And, people just keep them in their closets, and it's not doing anybody any good. It's not doing you any good. Why are you storing it? Why are you, and there's people out there that could use it. Some people actually.
And around this time too, they have a lot of those like prom dress, like donation kind of things. I remember I had so many bridesmaid dresses, and I did one of those, and it was so nice to know that, it was going to someone who couldn't necessarily pay for,
Right.
a gown for prom or something.
Men fall into the same problem area with suits. Like back in my era, you would wear suits. And just about 2 days ago, actually, I looked and I said, you got about 25 ties. You haven't worn one tie in the last year. So I tried to pick out about 5 ties, but I don't know who wants the ties. Probably nobody. Because most people, they don't wear ties.
No, that's a donation again. Yeah. No.
And I have suits. I mean, it used to be you wore a different suit every day to work, and the whole bit. They're not that old, but old enough.
Well, I think about the world, men in top coats and hats and all of that, that's like all gone, right?
Yeah.
It might come back.
Then you go buy a hat if you have to.
Yeah. Well, I wish I had my go-go boots from the 70s. I really.
Oh, me too.
Right.
I think I do actually have a couple of pairs of go-go boots. I'm not gonna.
No.
There you go.
Really? I have
Is that one of the questions, Barbara?
Go-go boots.
Well, they're not really go-go boots, but they're like in my heart they are. They have that kind of fit.
So the next, and that's a point. So how about unused exercise equipment that you're just using as to keep your clothes on or something? Many people have that. They have treadmills in the house. They have rowing machines in the house. They have all kinds of things in the house, and they don't use it. So unused. And, I hate to say it, but people all the time, they want to sell it back, and you really don't get a lot on a trade-in for exercise, and you pay a fortune for exercise equipment. Okay, so how we doing? Everybody keeping track? We're up to the 2-point list.
Oh,
ready? 2 points on these. Okay. How about unused garden tools, a bike, a fondue pot? We fondue pot. We could put in other kinds of old equipment that nobody uses anymore. Other than Otto, help me with this. Other than a fondue pot, what else? A bundt pan, something that people like really wouldn't use. Some that.
Well, like glasses don't come into this. Like if you have
not
12
yet
cocktail glasses, and
no, we're gonna get there.
or a full set of china.
We're going to get there.
Okay.
But also if you're keeping like a typewriter, a sewing machine, and you don't use those things, that's another.
Does that include electronic devices, or is that another category?
No, you can include electronic devices on that. You mean like old stuff that
like
doesn't
a VCR and
old cables, old tablets, old phones, old
word processing.
What you're afraid to get rid of.
That's such a good point, because we renovated our living room, my husband and I, so a lot of this is very fresh to me. And the issue of wires was something, we had this like TV unit, and we were like sitting there, and I was like, do we throw these out? And I was like, we don't even know what these go to. So at this point, I think it's safe to just throw it out. We have no idea. Like, we'd have to sit there forever trying to figure out
How about
all the devices.
Old keys. You have any keys around?
Keys. That's a good one.
You don't know what the keys are for, but you keep them.
That's a very good one, Otto. Yeah, really. You have no clue. There's an extra key for my next door neighbor. They moved 3 years ago. Like that kind of good point.
One.
Okay.
I'm getting rid of my keys later.
So the question was, if you have
Okay.
that,
If you have that, you get 2 points. All right, so now we're up. Now we're up to your glasses and your mismatched mugs and so the rule is if you have more than 6 mismatched, so you're allowed 6 and then you're allowed 6 matched. That goes for glasses, mugs, plates, any flatware, anything. 6. You go by 6 groups of 6.
Is
what
that a
about
tour
if you
or
have
one?
a box in the garage with your mother's old dishes, or does that count?
That's such a tough one because people save for years. That now, let me ask you: do you use your mother's dishes? Do you bring them out like for holidays or ever?
No, they're in the garage, safely stored in a box.
Okay. Are you ever going to use them?
Probably not. I would say no.
And your kids don't want them.
No.
So they're just they're taking up storage in your house.
Safely stored in a garage.
Safely stored. Okay, so there's a website called replacements.com. You could look up the pattern for that. If they're worth anything, they're worth something to you. So I never tell if they're that important to you, then keep them. And it's just a box in your garage. It's not the end of the world. I wouldn't torture you like that. But really, do you need it? Do you use it? If it's that important to your heart, then you keep it. But I go by, do you need it? Do you use it? And could somebody else use it?
Yeah. And I don't know how old they are. They're probably from the 1930s. And I'm sure they're not expensive. They didn't have a lot of money back then. So
right.
If they bought dishes, they weren't, up here somewhere.
Right. They might have been Pharrell. Right.
Yeah, they were functional dishes.
Uh-huh.
Who knows, right?
So did you ever think of using them?
No, because we have my wife's mother's dishes. And we have other dishes because we were both married before our spouses passed away.
Otto's got dishes for the whole neighborhood.
So we had a lot of dishes.
Okay. So
we actually have to take a quick break. We'll pick up when we return, talking with Barbara Feldman about what to do with everything. And we're playing a fun game. So we'll be finishing up the game after this quick break. You're listening to Project Independence in You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We will be right back.
WCWP is your home for great music and great conversation. You'll find all that and more on WCWP.org. Listen live on the web, check out the lineup, subscribe to podcasts, and stay up to date on the latest station events. Get in touch with us and let us know if you like what you're hearing. And find out how you can support or get involved at the only community public radio station serving Nassau's North Shore. Plus, sign up to get a free bumper sticker. It's all online at WCWP.org.
So welcome back to Project Independence in You on Community Talk Radio, 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Rebecca Miller, along with Otto Lohse and Kristina Lou, and we're talking to our guest, Barbara Feldman, talking about spring cleaning and downsizing and all things we should be doing. But more importantly, we're in the middle of a game right now where Barbara has promised that people will get prizes. So if you're playing along, keep score. So let's get back. I think we're now at number 10.
10? No.
No? No. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we're at number 10.
5, 6,
I have 9 written down on my thing.
What was 9?
Yes, we're at number 10. Mm-hmm.
What was number 9? Just refresh me.
Number
dishes
9
and
was mugs and glasses and dishes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're allowed 6.
that's
right.
2 points.
That's 2 points.
2 points.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay.
If you have them, it's 2 points, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So now we're up to mismatched Tupperware, which is one of my favorites. And I said in spring cleaning, like do that in the morning when you're drinking your coffee. So we all have too much Tupperware. We all have now takeout food and you save the Tupperware and you might need this one day. And then it doesn't have a lid. If you take all of the Tupperware out, like I did with the pants, like I did with anything, you put like with like, take all the Tupperware out, put it on the counter, put it on the table. and say, okay, do I have a top for this? Does this work? Does this have any meat? And cut those down. I'm sure we all have.
I just did that myself, and I was like thinking, like, where, it's just my husband and I. Where does all the lids go to our Tupperware? I'll never know. Like, where it's just like a mismatched sock. Like, there's somewhere that it just ends up in the ether. But I just did that. I said, if you don't have a top, you're in the garbage. If you're like stained, you're in the garbage. So I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff myself.
Great. Okay, so that's 2 points. Let's go back to items that you were saving for the kids. You talked about that a little bit earlier. But again, it's, people save for the kids. They have their high chair, they have their bike, they have, all the drawings that they did, the smiling faces,
Big
your kids now are grown and they have kids, you got to let it go. And that's another one, 2 points. How about uncomfortable shoes? You were talking, Otto, you were talking about shoes before, but I'm talking about uncomfortable shoes with heels that are too high. I personally don't do it anymore.
How would you know if they're uncomfortable if you haven't worn them in 5 or 10 years?
5 or 10 years?
Probably.
Get rid of them, Otto.
Get rid of them.
Not mine.
But again, you put like with like, you put like all your black shoes together, all your boots together, all your, your dress shoes together, or, and when you see how much you have, it's much easier to cut down. Okay, so that's 2 points on that one.
Now, do we have to answer that based on our own self or our household?
No, on your house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a calculator.
How about, we were talking about this before, the kids' yearbooks, awards, cribs, strollers, and the child is now grown. You get 2 points if you're saving any of that. All right, we're up to the 3 points.
Oh.
Okay.
Stakes are getting high, everybody.
Like an extra car?
No, but LP records, cassettes, DVDs with no way to play them. I can't tell you how many houses we're organizers and we're move managers, and we walk into so many houses and people have all of these albums and they don't even have a record player. They're just saving the albums, yeah.
Lots.
So I could tell you now,
getting rid of.
for resale, jazz and old rock and roll sell. Musicals don't sell. Opera doesn't sell. Classics don't sell. That's the only thing that anybody is paying for albums now. And they also have to be pristine, like you can have played. So everybody's saving all these albums and cassettes. Does anybody have a cassette player?
No.
I do.
Now, if you have CDs, DVDs, whatever, a couple of them that you've taken, and you could put the DVD into your computer, are there ways to digitize what's on there so then you can get rid of the CD or the DVD?
Yeah, there's companies that do that. Yes, absolutely.
You can't do that on your own?
I think you can, Otto. I think
don't know.
Software. I'm pretty sure there's different software. It gets tricky because obviously, they don't want people downloading, a movie that you paid for and then you have electronically, so there's different kind of calibers, I think. But I'm pretty sure once, I had a home video thing, and I think we were able to get it on the computer. I'm not totally sure, and I know there's definitely companies out there also that do it.
But you said there are companies that will take music, let's say, on DVD, CDs, and put them onto a hard drive or flash drive, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you want to, you could probably invest in equipment. I mean, if you have a lot to do, but you're probably better off outsourcing it, or, I hate to say this, Otto, but get a millennial or younger and they might be able to figure it out.
Yeah. I'm a
I just want
millennial.
to say one thing about albums, because I can never get rid of my albums. I love all my music. It's so much memorabilia. I bought album frames. So
I
you
was
can
just gonna say,
buy
I love the
frames.
album frame.
And my kids love it too. Like back in the day, they would put it up in their room. I would have my old Zeppelin albums and a Beatles album and the Stones and the Doors, and they would,
So
I
cool.
would
I
just
love that.
frame it. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Great.
I
And,
love
like,
that.
looking at it just brings
Yeah.
me back and makes me happy.
I have one, I only have like 10 altogether that I've saved. And one of them is street games in New York or whatever, because I grew up in New York and I played every street game you can imagine. And I would love to digitize that thing. So I can, for me, I like looking at it. It refreshes my brain, playing stickball or whatever other game. So that would be something that maybe I can go to a company and say, copy this onto something. I know there are programs that you can use, but to become an expert in a program that you're only going to use once every 5 years,
Right.
is
You're
not
better off.
going somewhere and letting them do it.
Yeah. Outsource it.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. So that's 3 points on those.
Wow.
Okay. Big one. Who's got a bed in their house that nobody sleeps in? Ever? Come on. You have an extra bedroom, your kids left, or your parents or somebody, and you have a bed in your house that no one has slept in for 2 years. Could be a cat, could be a pull-out couch.
2 years.
2 years. Okay, that's a 3-pointer. That's a big one. How about newspapers or magazines more than 8 inches? How about like this? Okay. Do you have stacks of newspapers and magazines in your house?
Goes out in the recycle every other week.
I have saved some magazines, and that's something I need to go through. It's in like a box in the garage, and it was just like, I remember I had saved like, oh, I might, want this in the future. It was like when I was younger, and they probably can go.
Do you count, like, let's say Life magazines from the 30s or the 40s? There's no value in those?
Not if they're worn out. No.
I mean, other than, frankly, I find it interesting to look at because of the historical part of it.
Right.
Looking at the ads and, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I have a number of programs, like the first Jet game at Shea Stadium, or the first Jet game, the program that came with that thing. Those kinds of things may not be worth anything today, but they might be worth, who knows?
I think, it gets tricky because in all these things, it also is a component of like what really means something to you. So if that's something that is, I mean, look, I have so many, I love going to concerts. That's my thing. So I save my ticket stubs. I'll save, a lanyard. Like that's something I'll always save because that to me is so important, So I think that that's where, yes, these things can be kind of a generalization, but it's also, right. You have to weigh what is, Beck, you with your albums, like those are your albums.
Yeah.
And you couldn't imagine getting rid of them, So I think that definitely plays a part.
I like to tell people, like take it, put it next to your heart. Is it really that important to you? Really? Is it that important? If it is, keep it. I mean, right. I would never, ever tell you, I love concerts. I went to Woodstock, the original. And I
wish to have Barbara on for like a segment on that.
I wish I had those tickets because I did buy tickets. I really did buy tickets and I really did go. And I wish I had those tickets. I only have the memories, which is plenty.
Interesting that you still remember a lot of it.
Oh, that's another part of it, like what I remember, and I had to talk to other people. Was this true? Like
that's another show. We'll get back to you. We'll book you on another show for that one.
That's all New York.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the newspapers and magazines. Okay, this is a good one. Who has ketchup, mustard, soy sauce, sugar, napkin kits, like particularly we're just coming out of COVID and we all had deliveries and takeout. And are you saving those things, and straws in the drawer, all those things that come with takeout and, you might need one day? Okay, that's a 3-pointer.
I often think a lot of companies could save a lot of money.
I totally agree with you.
They put like 5 or 6 or 7 little ketchups in there for one person.
Right. Or Chinese.
And I don't even use ketchup.
Chinese food, the mustard and the soy sauce and the, everything. Okay, we got a couple more and we're running on time. How about orphan and holy socks? Just like you said, where do they go? You put them in the dryer and they disappear. Yeah. Like Andy Rooney used to say, like, where do they go?
So weird. I'll never understand.
Okay, so that's a 3 points. Piano, a pool table, or a ping pong table. If you don't play and you're not using it, get rid of it. 3 points. Next one is crystal stemware. Do you use it? Are you keeping it? I cut it down again, like 6, like I told you with the mugs, even the stemware, 6. People, I just moved someone yesterday. They have so much. God bless if they have a big party for 100 people, invite me, and I'll, but they have so much glassware. But okay, so that's 3 points. And then
just Barbara on that one, all right? There's a lot of times where you have a piece of furniture in a dining room, which is whatever the right term is for the cadenza, or
like a big hutch, right?
Yeah, hutch, whatever. And if you took the stemware out of it, it wouldn't have anything in it.
Okay, you need the hutch?
No, but then the room would be barren.
So put something else there, or
you know what? We don't have a lot of time left, so I want to make sure we finish the game and get to all the points. So
okay, so the last Otto, we could talk later.
Okay.
So the last one is collectibles, meaning like Hummels, Franklin Mint, any of those collectibles that people bought for so many years. If you're saving those, that's a 3-pointer. Okay, that's the end of the questions.
Okay.
So everybody tally up your points.
I've been adding mine all along.
Okay. So
11.
Really?
Did you say 11?
And up until the last 2, I did 2 3s there.
Wow.
I'm
at 22, guys. I'm at
25.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
We've been doing a lot of throwing out.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, and mine would have definitely been higher if I didn't just go through, our little purging.
Yeah. So is there anybody in the chat that wants to participate?
Dan had 9. Wow, Dan.
Wow.
Impressive. And of course, if anyone is listening, we just want to remind you, you can call 311 or 516-869-6311, and you could ask for me. And we could find out what your points are.
Let's see what your points, and I'm happy to give out prizes.
It's so great. Barbara, I love having you on every year for my own personal reasons. I think you're such a wealth of information, and I really, you're filled with golden nuggets. We love golden nuggets on the show, and after you're on, I'm always like preaching to everyone, like different.
Thank you.
So up Lila, who is in now, she has 20 points.
Lila has 20
points.
Lila,
if you could call 311 and ask for me, and I'll reach out back to you.
Wow.
You started the show talking about personality, and that's a very interesting topic, I think. And we don't have a lot of time, obviously, but some people are more organized than others. Some people like to declutter more than others. And there's, it's a very interesting thing. Like, how come some people can't throw anything out? They keep every piece of paper they ever got. whether it's important or not important. They keep every box that they ever had. I have a friend, a family member, who has every can that they ever had. So got so many closets stuffed with stuff.
It's hard. It's emotional, a lot of these things.
It is emotional. That's a whole nother topic.
It is emotional.
I want to thank you so much. I hope that, we can get you for some other little chats coming up. I'm sure Kristina will be talking to you. I know you'll be back. Really a pleasure to have you, and also a lot of fun. You're listening to Project Independence and You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org.